Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Of Scribes and Men. I am the Mad Poet, heading over to 10,000 Poems by November of 2026. We are now on volume 16, and yes, volume 15 was a bit. I was very tired. I was like, if you are listening to this and listening to volume 15, you're going to be able to tell that there's a very clear difference between volume 15 and now. Okay? Just going to say, passed out after volume 15. So let's get into it. For the sake of a soul, for the sake of a soul in games of chess, all accepted by a being divine. I should probably call this in games of chess, and then start over. Okay. Okay. If you stop. Okay. No. Thank you. For the sake of a soul in games of chess, all accepted by being divine. When everything sprawled out into a mess, what moves to make when you try out to guess? Patience a virtue for him to recline, for the sake of a soul in games of chess. Try not to worry and try not to stress, haste makes waste before your body's decline, when everything sprawled out into a mess. Hubris will haunt you when you try to impress, all within death's humor watching you whine. For the sake of a soul in games of chess, why did you laugh at those wanting to bless as you drink from the cup of your own vine when everything sprawled out into a mess? To lose is no failure if you'll confess, for the sake of a bet you did define, for the sake of a soul in games of chess when everything sprawled out into a mess. What reason to mock the wise and the weary, whose eyes are not blurred that allows them see clearly, as you parade around town with a crooked smile, as you drown in your depth all the while? They always said not to cast pearls before swine, so laugh at a man where alone he shall dine. Now come, take the hit and take the fall, no need to be hesitant or even to stall. Our limitations brought by the words that we say, like a broken record repeating day by day, all for the sake of a moment of change, and seek the person who for that arrange. What method of man is in all of his lies, like a cat who is black hoarding its lives? To waste such a chance as you try and run, now set matters in hand to find you be done. Times of plenty into the fire that burns, each of their own within their turns, who seek glory, riches, and fame, yet how many willingly play the game? Stillness of water, with echoes into of our mirror, lessons of the self. Technical difficulties set in decline, broken bodies claiming they're fine, all to keep the status quo, while hiding scars never to show. Will of the willow, what have you to hide? Caught under a pillow with a leaf inside. A gift of the self broken off to give, for those who sought a certain beauty to live. Hammer of the forge from blood into steel, foundation by foundation until something real. What does fire care of flies that come on near, while it burns impurities until all becomes clear? We worshipped among the waters of illusion, tasting of the sweetest of honey's delusion, yet hammers spark still strike upon metal, the pain of sweat refusing to never settle. We fatted ourselves for those who consume, wondering why we live in such gloom, while the man in the forge worked with no concern, with the metals and embers he set to burn. While others laughed in freedom, shackled in chains, making masks of fools who claimed to hold the reins. But the forge itself never once ever cared, until the pieces completed in majesty were declared. Have you wandered the labyrinth of your mind to seek all skeletons and shadows in kind? Have you stared yourself as you think, before consumed by your own fear as you sink? Pain in your chest, in your hollow breath, have you made your peace with the being of death, suddenly now afraid to go and die, questioning the answers to all you once did deny? Why do we fight what we do not know, with systems kicked into their flight, until all becomes harmless enough to eat and show, from the burning day to the shining night? Vertigo spinning while standing still, center of your world with none to fill. Will you call out or begin your collapse, caused by a momentary lapse? A path to pursue, it's now time to lock in. This should be not that. Yes. A path to pursue, it's now time to lock in, for how shall you run and win if distractions throw you off your center before the doors close you long to enter? Dawn the trial is here, no time for reason or even to fear. Pick up your lance and onward ride, for duty calls and there's nowhere to hide. Pages like pyramids, I pile them high. You can surf in denial while I reach for the sky. I may not walk like an Egyptian, but I'll pen in each verse, like the tombs of the pharaohs, but this isn't a curse. Drown yourself in water, let's go for a swim. No need to worry, the darkness isn't so grim. All while sinking into the fathomless depths. Hush now, try not to take any deep breaths. Drunk crane under moonlight, a taste of peach wine, gifted from the heavenly courts, poured out among guests. The crane sings his song of drunken praise, laughing in his water, tipped into a humble bow and a toast. Walking past the desert sand, past the pyramids into distant land, scenes change as seasons come and go. Where shall I stop? I shall never know. A strike of lightning and thunder's rain across stormy skies, with a sound and rumble that shakes the foundations of the earth, as my heart races while pressed against a soft and hard wall. Years upon years behind museum walls, voices crying throughout the halls, for whom shall hear what is still alive, to pick up the pen, drown in ink and dive. Back in your lies behind the masquerade mask, a taste of the poison spread through every task, smiles of the charming facade that never dies, until the moment walls break down to uncover your lies. Birds came upon the window mocking, through their noise and constant talking, songs they sang and their melody, while others seek to bring back their remedy. I've heard the tales of men gone astray, into temptation's depth among the forest's way, guided by a feeling, or maybe two, as they drifted on by with nary a clue. Pen and quill, a scribe's weapon of choice, of all the words they write and voice, enchanting those who would but hear the ways of a poet made ever clear, rippling through all the ages, yes, even through all the pages. Anger fueled by matters of rage, trapped inside a boiling cage, while the insides it begins to corrupt before finally coming to erupt. Yesterday's gift lessons for the present, learning through life how to be content. As experience comes with its lashes, what memories of you when covered in ashes. Through the swift movements, guided by graceful traces, dancer shows her path. Every dragon has its hoard, just like over the items we lord. Of the things we collect and grow, some to hide, others to show. Will you listen to the tempest? She comes with a smile. Will you listen to the tempest with her violence all the while? Request a trial by fire. Answer the crows, a murder on the wire. For what is a sacrifice if there is no blood to open the gates that held back the flood? Chiming bells as one returned home, no matter how far or long they'd roam, before remembering the place to be in the arms of the Savior who's happy to see. Where into dreams will you let slumber take, before the dawn of morning where one must wake? What shall you see traveling there, before forgotten beyond memory's guided stare? Peaceful flow of the water's stream, the oar pressed and circling like a dream, that lulls one with a lullaby before the parents come and finally sigh. Whatever shall one do or see, and adventurous to go and be, across each land and place, taking with them but a trace. Boats at sea, sailing ever so free, guided by the waves that be, along the ships of 1 and 3, the ships guided by the captain's decree, even as they sail on ever so carefree. Fireworks from the boat at sea, as people watch so carefree. The transience of all things, flickers of life come to be. In eternity's place, whatever shall we do, immortality through and through, of all things to explore and show, to God as he creates more to see and know. Woe to a marriage never been, slipping from my hand like grains of sand. What tales of those who have tasted and seen the joys of communion upon the land. My soul aches and weaks for a sliver of hope the heart keeps, gone one day and then no more, fading away like dust on the floor. Mercurial smiles charm at work, surprises for those who don't know. Kept behind a mask and a smirk, Mercurial smiles charm at work, hidden within the fog and murk. Nothing to see, nothing to show, Mercurial smiles charm at work, surprises for those who don't know. He who does not heed the gazelle's warning will become food for predators by morning. Get a drink there. Joy in the morning in a land we do not know, where the wine tastes sweet and the fountains flow. Time has faded along with reality right beside, as the mind begins to wander, disassociate, and guide. Sound of a voice that sounds so cute, from a place we thought were mute, with a smile, face in its glee, such adorable thing to hold and see. For he who may go and boast in confidence, shall the moonlight show all to now see, or shine a light upon the wine for all to drink and toast, as the artist builds his name. When shall knowledge be waning? When shall knowledge be waning upon life's passages in its draining? What memories are there to set and keep as we lay into our eternal sleep? If life was a game, how would we grow? What of our stats to learn and then show? Would it all become one of ease for each selfish desires to fully go and please? If I were rich, in what fortress of pillows I'd lay, bodies adjusting to natural patterns to work and play. Ease of worries gone away from the mind, and to others' gifts all eat their each kind. Worry not the clouds in their journey on high, with echoes of motion that go across the sky, whether under the night's glow and command, or within the day's work and its demand. A flicker of thought before it's gone, like a wisp of a dream in sudden dawn. Whatever more shall we try to think, that sticks evermore to never sink? There is no cage upon me to trapped and be, tangled within a web of three, and then forevermore to see. They say there only exists so much to do, yet these are the ones without a clue. For imagination runs in the land of dreams, to be crafted together with like-minded teams. Geisha's graceful dance among chambers of music, elegance in hand. Why do we not sleep as we burn the midnight oil while under the silver moon? Inspiration hides in dark, beautiful places that we long to seek and grasp. From snow into spring, the way of life in all things, for all must renew, and flow like the water streams, like the path our soul should take into peace and harmony. The forms to know in all we write, to create something old and new in every sight, in a journey of a hero's tale, in order to make stories never grow stale. Some will always forge ahead, while others fool around instead. Folly of the young, they say, but soon enough there will always come a day. The sweet taste of rain that trickles onto our tongue during cloudy days, arms stretched out in an embrace of joy instead of mourning. If you had a pet dragon, where would you fly? What places would you visit among the sky? With all the adventures to go and play, returning upon the morn of a new day. And to the depths of the ocean's mysteries that we seek, from the surface of all the way down to a darkness unknown. Such is the way of a reader's mind in the books they read. An electric charge as all rise, energized in the sight of the prize, that causes the blood to flow, desires a light in all that it will know. Bring some color into a world of gray, crash the system where people fold to stay. Bring a little joy in the styles to show and employ, to treat the world to us as a stage and a toy. They shackle themselves with chains that they claim to write through the pain, that they refuse to leave and grow, for it has become the comfort they know. Life comes in many stages throughout its many ages, but it's what we will make it and how we will go and take it. Will you ever know how to grow into certain states of peace and calm confidence to go and show a way to make the pain stop and cease? Many a struggle, we hate how we learn, fall on a rug, and there's the burn. As experience now comes around, we learn how to stand our ground. Step by step I continue to go, embrace the system, embrace the flow, while others weep unto a page's spill. It's from the chaos I harness and fill. If this was my job every day, how many poems could I write and say, alive and no longer tired, creating while constantly wired? What is what is burnout in all that I write, for all the things my eyes lay on in their sight, with muses to talk and emotions to hear, writing everything that becomes clear. Within the might of the pen, no need to ask how but when, for a scribe's work is never done under the bright yellow sun. Echoes burn in the language of fools, murmuring voices demanding of rules that will only eventually bite back as they wonder why it's them the system does attack. Rage of the air and sea, disaster as far as the eye can see, times when survival becomes a must, and in each other we all must trust. Get another drink here. Mists of a Tengu's forest, shall you enter with hubris, only to be taught humility of your ways and your corruption? Was greed really worth the price that may cost your life? Or trials within a maze where there is no escape? There is no escape where there's no escape. From those who command the air, watching and striking, for they hate their own mirror that you have displayed. So if you value your life, repent of your ways, lest they unleash their arrows, mocking your remains, as you lie beneath their tree, within their domains. No, they will not take kindly to those dressed in opulence. Will you cage the tempest of the air like an experiment in a lair, only for it to shatter and break, and your life for it to take? Shall I laugh then at your plight, fallen down from your fight? Nay, I say, as I shall pick you up 3 times more, and build you up to what you are made for. Many ways do I desire to write, many ways that stand within my sight, that dissuade me and distract me in the ways I desire to go and act. From the west to the oriental, towards all things new and the sentimental, all the places to go live and see, nomad of the world untethered and free. A momentary blink and hours have gone, before a time when you could catch on, wondering where it all went as you stare where most of the time is spent. What shall we know and see, and who to become and be, confused by all that is around, standing upon your school ground, going on further when no one knows, following the trail you've left in rows, to come to the end when you're not there, now left to a new place in the sky and air. What place is there for the heart's longing as you look for your place and belonging? Phantoms, pain, and a sensation that isn't real, for all for the desire of a person to feel. I need to get better at reading these, my word. But heck, by the time I've gotten through all of them, I should have ample something. Do the towns own and claim their desire as population grows higher and higher, or will greed come and take its toll while leaving many scrambling for scraps from a bowl? What is the meaning in cities that never sleep, caught in their vicious cycle? Many a desire keeps the cogs and oil burning for a life they always dream. People complain at the systems they created, all for their desires to be satiated, placing in the powers that be, thinking that was the path to be free. Systems of slavery, worse than the last, ironically never moving from the past. People cry victim when they're to blame, constantly tricked in every political game, believing one and then the other, dividing further instead coming together like a brother. Weep not for the monster you created. The fault lies in the ears that believed what was stated. Peace was unwanted, so they created a divide. Truth claimed by the mouths that lied, all for the reason of boredom and spite, looking for entertainment and a fight. Monsters of men with bloodthirst in their eyes, feeding into their constant evil and lies. Laughing in glee when someone dies, self-awareness gone from a place no one wise. Opinions are not worth listening to, if in return blood must go and spill, from mindless monsters without a clue, when even the Grinch had a bigger heart to fill. Oh, why don't you pull off all your troubles behind? Why don't you put all your troubles behind? Step onto the dance floor and come unwind. Feel the groove to the music beat and begin to tap to the rhythm with your feet. What's more dangerous than those who come together, bonded now, with each other like birds of a feather? Why must you allow things to come in and rage from those who have been placed upon the circus stage? A bite from conviction, better look within. Why are you trying to defend your sin? Has it really sunk in its claws so deep inside, where you can't remove it even if you tried? Time would be better spent in creation. Listen not to those who long to destroy, as they smile at your destruction with elation, when we could come to and destroy their ploy. Dancing to the beat of my own drum, like the sound of a string from a guitar to strum, how much better would it be to an extend to you and to me? The blind leading the deaf, claiming they can see and hear, none knowing all the cliffs continually drawing near, fighting all those who try and prevent their fall, only to turn into monsters and let go one and all. Origami crane, started with 1, then 1,000, a soul to come take. Temptation coming in like a roar, constantly clawing at that door, waiting for it to open a crack before it sinks its claws in for an attack. Queen of your passions, how you have fallen from the height of your power that was stolen, freely taken from your hand in ignorance. Did you ever really have a single chance? Is what we all write some kind of slop that we all hope will go off and pop into the eyes that bring an adoration with pride over your own creation? Did you miss it when you blinked of such things that was so distinct, never believing it was real, simply based solely on how you feel? 1 to 100, from the small to the many, started with a step. That is going to be it for volume 16. I will see you guys again for volume 17.